Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, high street tramps and chuggers, I'm back again with another review, you flipping lucky buggers. Before I go on with the fragrance I have for you today, I want to tell you a little story about it, just a mini one. I bought this fragrance a few years ago in 2016, and I used it a few times and I did like it, but didn't overly wow me, and it basically went in the collection with my other cheapy designers and hasn't really resurfaced many times. However, yesterday I couldn't decide what to wear to work, and sometimes I'll wear my expensive stuff to work, but it can be a bit of a waste as well, because for instance, I do sometimes do it, but you know, I'll go to work smelling of Amouage Interlude, and because of the environment I work in, I'll come home smelling of a layering of Amouage Interlude, Beck and Beyond, and something by Rihanna. So it can be a bit of a sort of, I like to smell nice for the people I'm around and stuff like that, and for myself, but if I'm going to come home smelling of a jumble of cheaper fragrances, it's best to sometimes not use the expensive and good ones, better ones. So I got this one out, and I thought, oh yeah, I remember this, and so I put some on. And by some, I mean quite a lot, about 10 sprays thereabouts. I sort of lost track a little bit. Sometimes, you know, I'll start putting on a fragrance, I get to about 8 sprays, and then I get dizzy and I wake up come round in a park a couple of days later or something, you know, with a beard like this and various bits and pieces in my pockets. No, but you know what I mean. I went heavy on it. So I then went into work, and the first thing that happened when I arrived was a young male colleague of mine said,
"Wow, Zoop, what fragrance do you have on?"
And I told him what it was called, and he said,
"Wow, yeah, it's really nice, I like it."
And then I went and I started doing my work and stuff like that, and a few times later in the day I could see him kind of looking at me and coming over, and I was thinking, he really does like this, doesn't he? And then he said to me as well,
"Where can I get it from?"
So I told him, and now he wants it apparently. I'm going to give him a little sample of it, because you can't get this in the shops and stuff like that. It's one that you have to get online or know someone who has it. So it was a nice compliment, and a compliment's a compliment. Doesn't matter whether it's from a guy or a girl, as far as I'm concerned. If people around it like it, then it's obviously someone's finding it nice. He's a young guy as well. So we'll move on to the fragrance itself. The fragrance of which I speak today is none other than Jacques Bogart Silver Scent Deep. Now this Jacques Bogart house I really like. They do some absolute corkers, and the Silver Scent line is quite a good one. I have the original as well, which I'll probably end up reviewing, but it's just a bit insanely, it's really, really screechy. It's like, I'll make some comparisons as we go. So this one, I'll take it out of the box here, is one of the many flankers of Silver Scent. There are several flankers, and I think the Silver Scent was one of the earlier ones by Jacques Bogart. It was one of the earlier ones. Was it? I don't know when it was. It was. I'll maybe put some information on the screen. The bottle is very simplistic and nice. It reminds me a little bit of like a monolith, you know, from the 2001: A Space Odyssey, that kind of thing. It's like it's matte black and it's quite nice, and the sprayer is incorporated into the lid there, and that's the bottle. I'm not going to put some on today because I'm wearing something else, but I do have my tester strip just here. Hoo-yah! A big wide whoosh you may have seen there. Missed most of the tester strip, but we get the idea, because this stuff
is very, very, very powerful.
Okay. I'll give you a list of the notes up here like I normally do, and I'll leave them there so you can peruse. I'll leave them there for a little while. This one, it's very, very sweet. My initial reaction to this was, it's really, really, really sweet. It's insanely sweet. It's I can smell the orange blossom quite clearly. I can smell orange itself, and there's definitely the tonka as well, so giving a lot of that sweetness. There's some spiciness in here. That is nutmeg, I believe. But I'm also picking up a little bit something like cinnamon, something like that, because it's got that orange as well in here, which kind of orange and cinnamon. kind of vibe going on here. And when I initially put this on skin, it erupts off my skin. It's like some kind of absolute nuclear theme going on. It really, really is. It's super, super powerful when you first put it on. It's got 2 to 4 hours of absolutely nutty projection, really seriously. Speaking of which, one of the notes listings in this one, according to Fragrantica, is hazelnut. Now, I did some further research into this because I was thinking I do smell something vaguely nutty in here, but apparently it's actually hazelnut wood. Now, the Fragrantica listing does have woody notes as well as the hazelnut, but some people, yes, I'm speaking about you, Evan. I saw your bloody review on Fragrantica slagging off people who don't know what they're talking about. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but as far as I'm concerned, there is some nuts in this. Anyway, you can shut up. I'll ban you off my page, all right? No, I'm only joking. Hi, Evan, if you do watch. So, to me, it is a vaguely nutty smell. There's definitely a woodsy smell here. And I'm picking up something, especially on skin, once it dries down a little bit and this maniac top note stuff goes away. It's that really, really super, super screechy, synthetic, heavily synthetic smell starts to die down. I'm getting something which is akin to slightly a tobacco-y type of smell. And then what I'm finding really predominant in it, I'll put that down, I'll stop waving it around. I won't, I'll keep it and I'll just put it there and stop waving it around. Predominantly, there's this tobacco note, but also what I get very strongly is a sort of chocolatey aspect in it, okay? So that chocolate smell would tie in with that nutty thing a little bit. So it's woody and chocolatey, so that kind of, it's almost Nutella-ish, if you know the chocolate spread Nutella. But what it makes me think of when I think of the chocolate smell in it is like chocolate with a wafer inside it, you know, like Kit Kat or something like that, right? So it has got a very gourmand kind of aspect to it. But this whole vibe, all of these notes, it's got like a herbal thing in here as well. I think it's sage or something like that, and it's a bit green smelling, a tiny bit, but mostly it's just floral and sweet, and there's a bit citric as well, a tiny bit citric as well. I think there's lemon and grapefruit, something like that, and it's definitely floral. It's got this geranium and the orange blossom going on in here. But it's exceptionally synthetic. Now, to anybody who is just your casual fragrance person or is not somebody who's really into fragrances, when we say synthetic, we mean it's like, I mean, obviously most of the components in these things are synthetic, but some of them are really, you can tell that it's maybe cheaper quality ingredients, even within its synthetic sort of field. This one not just smells synthetic, it actually smells chemically, right? There's also in here, it reminds me a little bit of an energy drink. You know the big famous one with the initials RB? It gives you wings, gives you a bloody headache, more like, to be quite honest, that one. Or the one in the black tin with green on it, beginning with M. That one, it's got like an energy drink kind of smell to it. And those cheap drinks you used to get when you were a kid in a plastic pot thing that you stick the lid in, that kind of cheap, chemically kind of artificial sweetener kind of thing. This has a massive aspect of that, but not in a really bad way. It's kind of likable, especially once it dries down. And that's what it smells like on the tester strip. Especially if anybody who smells this on a tester strip, that's pretty much all you're going to get, because the notes, the top notes remain for a long time, and the top notes in this one are all about that screechy chemical mess, as a lot of people would describe this one, I'm sure. Once it's dried down, it's really nice. It is insanely strong. It's really very strong, and it's very, very long lasting as well. If you for when I put this on yesterday, I could still smell it this morning, and it wasn't just a skin scent like that. You can still smell it from this far away, you know. So it still carries. It projects madly. It's a room filler. This one. It seriously it is. And I think that young people are going to especially enjoy it. I would say it's probably pushing unisex, because there isn't any aggressive macho thing to it. It's not kind of overly masculine or aggressive like that. It could easily be worn by either sex, if you're into that kind of thing and you like this one. The performance is excellent, and it's cheap as so I don't really do ratings these days. I did a few times here and there, but I don't see a massive point. I mean, what's my idea of a rating?
Just do a bloody rating, Zoopy.
Okay, I'll give you a rating. What I'll give you for this one on a rating, if I had to, would be an 8, because it is very good for the price. and it does what it does extremely well, which is scream. It just shouts, this one. If you were to wear this to a club, it would destroy all of the things that think they're the big boys there. You know, what people are wearing in the clubs these days. I don't really know because I haven't been clubbing in over 10 years. But whatever it is, this one is going to be up there with the best of them in terms of performance. You know, people are going to notice this above other things and other smells and other chaotic vibes and smell of alcohol and whatever it is you're doing in the club. So, it's a good one, right? And very cheap. I'll link the places you can get it, all right? So, so you know where to get it if you want to try it. And there's no harm, is there? Because you can get it for about less than 20 quid, right? And it's going to be good value for money because you don't need to be like me and use 10 sprays of it. You can probably get away with 4 sprays of this and you'll be fine. Because, I mean, look at the sprayer on it. It whooshes out a lot in one go, right? So that's quite a lot in one single press of the button. One single press of the button is quite a lot. So I reckon probably about 4 sprays of that and you'll be away. If you get it on clothing, it's going to last for days. And the performance is excellent. So I will link where you can get it from. What I would also like to add at this point, because I keep forgetting to, but I've remembered this time, is if you're on Facebook, come and visit our group, which is it's very good. It's the best Facebook group for fragrances, right? Well, it's not. It's just like any other group, except that, well, it's run by me and Lex Ellis. So, you know, on that alone, it's worth visiting. So, get yourselves over to Powerhouse Kings, which is this here. That's what it looks like. It's on Facebook. It is a private group, or it's private. So, but you can find it just by searching Powerhouse Kings. Apply, and we'll approve you, or not. If your profile picture is a stock photo of some beach or something like that, which some of these people seem to think that they can get away with. It's like, I want to come onto your page and post bollocks, which, you know, that's for us to do, not people with fake Facebook accounts, alright? So, thank you very much for watching. Great to be back. I'm not going to apologise about not, you know, how long it is since I did my last video, because I do it every time otherwise. Sometimes there'll be small gaps in between, but sometimes I sort of go and space out for a while, don't I? That's just me. So now, it just remains for me to say, safe man, chill out, enough respect, and I will catch you next time. Sweet.